Let's go to Tuesday night's slate, which was headlined by Klay Thompson's return to the Bay Area, where he won 4 championships with the Golden State Warriors, and he got the welcome home that a captain deserves.
Let's extend our captain hats to the 4-time Warriors champion. He's back!
So Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, the hug, Chiney, we'd all been waiting for. But let's get to the game action, because that's what Klay said he wanted to do. He knows these nets very well.
Oh, he does. And, y'all, you saw the hug, but that did not last long. He started doing Steph's moves after he knocked down a couple threes. And what did Steph say? Let me hold my beer.
He said, not so fast. Hey, Klay, you want to try to guard me? Remember, I can do this, too.
And one, son.
I mean, one of the most underrated finishers at the basket that don't get enough praise is Steph Curry.
Also one of the most underrated trash talkers, as you saw right there.
Right, you were in the building for this one. This one got good down the stretch. Klay Thompson there pulling up for 3. And then the Mavericks, again, feeding Klay. Gets that one to go as well. What were you seeing in this moment?
Yeah, it seemed like it might be a storybook type of return for Klay Thompson. You know how bad he wanted to win it. He put the Mavericks in position, except for the Warriors still have this.
So then, Tim, does that make Steph Curry the villain of this story?
I don't think he can ever be the villain in the Bay, particularly when he's pulling off shots like this. Steph Curry, though,
he was
says,
very
all right,
bad, girl. He was bad.
We're creating a little separation here, but I know my splash brother, and he's going to come back. He needed to put a little icing on this one, Perk.
Oh, absolutely. Again, hey.
Look out.
Didn't even comment on it.
Dancing like he knew it was Perk's 40th birthday. Steph going to work. Once he got that switch on Lively, you knew, Chiney, it was going to be night. Steph Curry, we can't, is he saying this is my ish here? We're not professional lip readers on this show.
That's the Steph the NBA knows.
Yeah, that is the Steph that fans love as well. Let's take a listen to Klay Thompson on his return.
I felt the love from the fans, and it was a little weird at first seeing Steph warm up, but that's nature of our business. Change happens. It's happened to plenty of great players who've won championships together. Yeah, it was surreal, and a night I'll never forget.
It's my guy. It's my friend. Road dog for 13 years, so there's a lot of history. You're going to have a lot of back and forth. Some of it was competitive, some of it was fun. I'm so surprised they ran a post up for him on the first play. I blacked out on that one. I wasn't going to let him score, and I fouled him. But it was a pretty special night all the way around. Obviously, we won. It was a great finish, but well done all the way around.
Park, I thought this was the game of the year so far. It had a little bit of everything on the inaugural night of the NBA Cup. What did you think?
I agree with you. I didn't know the NBA Finals started in November. That's what it felt like, seriously. The intensity was there. It absolutely was the game of the year. And Steph Curry, I knew you had those green eyes for a reason, because you was a demon last night. And listen.
Is that why you wore green today?
Absolutely, demon time, baby, demon time.
Because his approach to that game, and I watched it from start to finish, I said to myself, he want this game so bad. I never seen Steph Curry play with this much passion in a regular season game. When he scored and took over that fourth quarter, I think it was 12 straight or something to that nature, I was like, oh, yeah. When he looked into the camera, the vein popping out his neck, I said, oh, yeah, this.
Not the vein.
Yeah, it was, the vein.
Look, and you saw the kind of competitiveness between brothers, between Splash Brothers. But look, Klay Thompson did not want some warm, fuzzy experience going back to the Warriors. We all understand kind of the hard feelings, how uncomfortable, how awkward, how miserable he was last year. But you saw that thought. He walks in, you've got 400 employees wearing the captain's hat, line in the hallways. This reception, this was over an hour before tip-off when he's getting a reception during warm-ups. His lip, the bottom lip, was quivering during that tribute video, and he texted Steph the night before, asked him, hey, let's not do that speech, because he didn't want to cry. He did not want to get emotional, but he thought a little bit to the Warriors.
Yeah, see, I don't know if I could see the tear on TV, but Tim being in the building, you could see that type of detail up close.
Look, I was not in the building, but I was glued to the screen.
Yes.
This was, popcorn. This was box office. This was vintage Warriors basketball. And I say it on both ends because we got a Steph Curry flurry. We got Draymond having a tremendous game, blocking things from left, right, and center. And then, of course, we got Klay Thompson shooting streaky threes, 6 of them. But to me, I mean, it was the last 12 points that Perk alluded to. He was slicing and dicing the Dallas Mavericks. He was looking for those switches. He was hunting those mismatches. He was not settling from three. What I love is that Steph, hey, he's been asked to do a little bit less. His minutes are a little bit down, but still, he shows up in these moments because he's got that dog in him. He's got that competitive fire. Don't let that baby face fool you. He showed everyone that I'm still that guy.
Yeah.
To me, it was a win-win. Klay played well because that was a difficult circumstance to be able to handle your emotions. But also, Steph reminded people that I can carry this team too. I'm still trying to process.
So are we done asking questions then? I know for now, right? Because the Golden State Warriors, they go in, they beat Boston in a game that I don't think any of us picked them to be able to win.
Did.
And then maybe, okay, Perk picked them. His predictions this year have been perfect. Then maybe they didn't go up and they didn't maybe prepare appropriately for the Cavaliers. They got waxed in that game. But they have some big wins, some clutch wins, some signature wins. Are we done asking the questions now?
We have no choice. When you think about the Warriors, they're the most dangerous team in the Western Conference because they came into this season and we didn't have expectations for this Warriors team. I know I didn't. I wasn't expecting them to be at the top of the rankings in the Western Conference. But right now, to me, with all the injuries, they're clearly looking like the best team in the West right now.
They're playing the best basketball right now in the Western Conference and probably the second best basketball in the NBA behind the Cleveland Cavaliers just by how they're really approaching the game. And I'm not going to lie. I was like, okay, can this 13-man, 12-man lineup really work? He's showing that it can. To me, that's just beautiful.
Oh, the Dallas Mavericks are saying, hey, well, we actually represented the Western Conference last year, but they have lost 4 out of their last 5 here, Tim. Where do they stand after losing those games?
There's no sense of panic. You know, they lose to the Warriors when you have a classic Steph Curry flurry. Joker, just a monster performance the game before that. You know, they got KD'd.
They got KD. I love when KD becomes a verb.
Yes.
He's been KD.
And so these are all down to the wire. They've got to get back in the mode of being a killer closer team that they were last year. They've got to figure that out. And frankly, it's a pretty simple solution, easy to say. He's got to do it. Luka Doncic has to get back to the level that we are accustomed to seeing from him. He's the first to say he has to be better than he has been closing these games, and he's playing his way into shape, playing his way into rhythm. They need more from Luka.
I was just going to say that in order for him to be able to close those games at a high level, Luka level, he has to get in shape for the fourth quarter. But I'm going to say this, Jay Kidd about 3 games ago, he actually called this team out for not playing hard, right? That's a sign because here's the thing, teams can get relaxed at times, especially a team like this, and so you got to make sure you stay on their feet.
And they can get relaxed, especially after you make a Western or an NBA Finals run, and you come back and you're like, you know what? I want to save all of my energy if I'm Luka Doncic. You saw his numbers at the back of the bottom of the screen. They're still wild. I want to save my energy for when it matters most. Sometimes you see them playing conservationist. I don't think it works in those matchups. You got to show up and show out.
They lost the last 3 games by a combined 6 points here. So at the end of the day, we're talking about a 6-point difference. But when you're the Western Conference representative, that's the type of magnifying glass that we are pulling out. Tyler Hero went off for 40 points with 10 threes. But everyone's talking about the ending, right? Eric Spoelstra was pretty upset after giving up this backdoor cut, right? And then he called a timeout that they didn't have. So you see Tyler Hero going off here. The Heat lose on a technical foul. Perk, what's going on here?
Well, one, the Detroit Pistons are a young group that's going to compete like no other, right? And they got the win. Look at J. Rose.
Look at J. Rose.
But the Miami Heat got bigger issues than just Eric Spoelstra, blowing the game with that missed timeout. They got some things to figure out.
Off to Milwaukee. Nice sweater, Dame. Raptors, Bucks. This is the 2 teams with the worst records in the NBA. Damian Lillard was out with a concussion. Giannis and crew handled their business. Chiney, anything that the Bucks can take from this win to turn things around?
I mean, maybe a little confidence that finally the starting 5 looks better. You can always count on Bobby Portis to provide a boost. But look, overall, whenever one player is out, the other person steps up because they know that they make basketball very simple. Giannis knows he has to be aggressive and get people involved. Dame knows he has to shoot the ball. Why can't we put it all together? That's my issue with the Bucks.
Well, the Bucks, they have the early lead in Group B. There's something there, thanks to scoring differential, right? They beat the Raptors by 14. The Pistons got the win, but both Detroit and Miami have a scoring differential of 0 since overtime scoring does not actually
That's the group I'd want to be in, kind
toward that number. Why don't we go to East Group C? The Celtics, they entered the night as the favorites to win this one, but that got flipped in a hurry. This was the biggest upset of the NBA season based on point spread. Boston was a 15.5-point favorite. No Trae Young. how does this happen to the Celtics at home, Shanae?
Yeah, no Trey, not okay. Maybe it was the court because it was different color. Did they think they were on the road? It was kind of crazy. Dyson Daniels had himself a night. I think he had 6 steals, but I think what really flipped the game was they had the Celtics 12 bench points compared to the 38 on the other side. That, to me, was the difference. Typically, it's the Celtics owning the bench, but it was an off night.
It was just, everyone has those. Everyone has an off night every once in a while. All right, on to West Group A. The Timberwolves entered play as the favorites here. This was shocking as well. The Wolves lost by 14, their second straight loss. They play again tonight. But, Perk, what is going on with the Timberwolves?
Inconsistency. I mean, they just got to find their way. Right now, Dante is not playing well. They're not getting the shooting. And they just have to hang their hats on being a defensive-minded team, right? A team that's going to lock down and defend. They have the personnel. They have the perimeter players to do it. They just got to get it done.
We've just scratched the surface on the NBA Cup play, right? Back in action on Friday. But after one win, the Knicks have jumped to the top of the odds, 6-1. This is all according to ESPN Bet, as you can see how everything shakes off here.